Woof.
Okay. So here is, there's actually 2 new dev blogs that came out yesterday on September 7th. We were not streaming yesterday, so today is and actually I haven't even looked at them. I've just seen, again, the titles. I try to go into these completely cold, knowing nothing more than the titles. There might be an occasion where somebody says, hey, did you see, or something, you know, so I might know a little bit, but in this case, pretty much completely cold. I've just seen the titles. I know that we got test ship changes, and I know we got some new ships coming out. Those are going to be interesting to see. I don't really know what they are. So let's start and look here. So changes to test ships in closed test 12.8. Based on testing results, Wargaming is applying changes to the Schill, excuse me, the British Cruiser Defense, U-4501, Karl 14th Johan, Komissar, Scarlet Thunder, Vrijheid, Tsurugi, Yumihari, Adatara, Picardie, and Navarin. So this is some of the super ships, some of the new Japanese battle cruisers, a lot of stuff going on. So let's get started with this. What's going on with German cruiser Schill at Tier 8? So bonus to the main battery reload, provided by the main battery reload consumable reduced. So now they're only giving you a 50, so they're nerfing the main battery reload and only giving you a 50% reduction in reload. So apparently they decided that was a little too strong. Replaced fast damage control team consumable with standard damage control party consumable. Okay. Wasn't the Schill the one that they just severely nerfed the health of the ship and some stuff? I believe it may have been. And yeah, not sure what's going on there. So we'll have to see. We will definitely have to see. What else is going on? Added repair party consumable with following parameters. Action time, 28 seconds, hit points per second reload. So apparently it didn't have a repair party, and I think that's what I recall. It had this fast damage control with no repair, so they decided to go with a regular damage control and adding a repair party, which seems to be a more reasonable way to go if you're going to kill the health on the ship really badly. If you left the health mostly intact, the fast damage control may have been fine or not even needed, just a regular damage control. But if you're going to nerf the health into the ground, you need some kind of a repair party. So after analyzing data and player feedback, we decided to increase the ship's survivability by introducing a repair party. As this might cause Schill to overperform battles, we have changed other aspects. So that's what they're saying. We're going to give it more survivability with the repair. So we're going to nerf down the damage control and the reload booster. And I mean, that actually makes sense. So, all right, next let's go to British Cruiser Defense at Tier 10. Main battery firing range increased from 16.8 to 18.3. Okay. Detectability by sea reduced from 14.1 to 12.5. All other visibility values changed accordingly. So that's a pretty big buff there, folks. I mean, that's what, 1.5 kilometers more firing range, which is great. But wow, this concealment improvement, you're getting 1.6 kilometers more. So you take that 12.5 kilometers and you're at Tier 10. Man, what does that get your concealment down to? 12.5? If we take that down by 10% and then take that down by another 10%, yeah, you're talking about like 10.1 area. So that's getting the concealment on this big boy, because as I recall, there's some big boy guns on this thing, so getting them down pretty far. That'll be interesting to see what that does. Next up is German sub U-4501 Tier 10. Acoustic, and this is the one I've been saying is no matter how they crack it, it's still pretty much a bullshit submarine. Acoustic torpedo range increased from 9 to 10 kilometers. Sonar range increased from 9 to 10 kilometers. Marked sector width increased from 30 to 40 kilometers. So buff. Kind of, I guess the marked sector width would be considered a buff. Makes it easier to hit. Well, no, hang on though. The mark said, yeah, it gives you a bigger marked sector. So yeah, that's subs equal buffs, folks. Subs equal buffs. European battleship Karl the 14th, Johan at tier 9. Main battery reload time increased from 23 to 25 seconds. Okay. I don't know a ton about that ship other than what I've read in the dev blogs. It does seem like it may be fairly strong. And I have been in a game where there was a div of those things that just basically pressed W and steamrolled most of the enemy team. Thankfully, I was on the good side of that one. But I have heard some people saying it's fairly strong. We'll see how it, we'll know when it physically comes out. Soviet cruiser Komissar, tier 10, removed fighter consumable from attack aircraft squadron. So this is the basically the Petro with it's basically the hybrid Petro, more or less. There's some differences in armor and some different things, but hybrid Petro, and that has an attack aircraft squadron, which had a fighter on it, which gives you double spotting. So somebody actually recognized that, hey, that's an awful big advantage to be able to spot with your aircraft and then drop the fighter and spot with that too. So good on them for removing that. That should never have been on there to start with. Next up is British battleship Scarlet Thunder at tier 9. Main battery reload time increased from 29 to 30 seconds. Okay, that's not really that big of a change, so it's really here and there. Dutch cruiser Vrijheid, for lack of a better term of how to pronounce that. If you think the pronunciation's wrong, it's probably because it's the Southern Dutch pronunciation. In any case, HE bomb airstrike reload time increased from 70 to 75. I have seen these things. If I recall correctly, it's got a pretty long distance airstrike on it and a pretty good amount of them. So they're putting out quite a bit of airstrikes. But I don't recall them being like so strong it was ridiculous or anything. Next up is Japanese battleship Tsurugi at tier 9. This is the new battle cruiser. Main battery reload time reduced from 28 to 25 seconds. Okay. Added torpedo reload booster consumable with following parameters. Warp reload time after consumable is used -8 seconds. Reload time 300 seconds. Charges 2. So wait a minute. I see -8 seconds. It's not -8. It's just a dash. That's what that is. So if I'm understanding this right, you use the torpedo reload booster consumable, and it makes your torp reload 8 seconds. Then the reload time, of this thing is 300 seconds. You get 2 charges of it. It's not overly powerful, I don't think, but I don't recall the parameters of torpedoes. Japanese battleship Yumihari at tier 8. Main battery reload time increased from 26 to 27 seconds. Sigma value reduced 2.2 to 2.1 seconds. So, which one is it that has the Deadeye spotter plane? Is that the Yumihari? I'm trying to remember which one that is. But that may not be it. It may be the next one. But so essentially, slight nerf to the reload time. Not a big deal. Sigma value being reduced. That's definitely a bit of a hurt. You're reducing the accuracy, but what do you expect? Why does the accuracy need to be better than than all of the other battleships at Tier 8, 9, and 10. I don't understand why it needed to be 2.2 to begin with. Japanese battleship Adatara at Tier 9, same sigma value reduction from 2.2 to 2.1. Changed the accuracy of the 100mm secondary guns, and now it would be more similar to Japanese battleships. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming a little less accurate, maybe. I'm not sure how accurate it was before. So I'm guessing that might be a nerf. I'm just guessing. Don't know. And the French battleship Picardie at Tier 8. That's the Tier 8 version of the Lion, correct? I think. I think that's correct. AP shell fuse delay increased from 0.01 to 0.033. So does that basically mean they took it from short fuse to normal fuse battleship, I think? I think that's correct. Wow. Okay. And what is last here? Soviet battleship Navarin, Tier 9. Changed the depth charge airstrike parameters, and now they will be more similar to Tier 9 Soviet battleships. So, recapping that, what do we have? Well, we have a change to airstrikes on the Soviet battleship Navarin. Here nor there. We have a change in the Picardie's AP fuse delay, going from short to normal fuse delay. We have signal reductions in the Japanese battleships Yumihari and Adatara. We have a reload time buff of the Japanese battleship Tsurugi, and a torpedo reload booster being added. Very interesting. We have a slight nerf to the airstrike reload on Dutch cruiser Vrijheid. Slight nerf to Scarlet Thunder reload time. Removed, big one here, remove the fighter consumable from the attack aircraft squadron of this hybrid Soviet cruiser Komissar. That's very welcome. Very welcome. I'll say that. European battleship Karl Johan got a main battery reload time nerf. German sub U-4501, buff. That's all you need to know. British cruiser defense actually got a buff in range and concealment. And then the German cruiser Schill has been changed yet again to add the repair party, but remove the fast damage control, replace it with a normal one, I should say, and slightly nerf the main battery reload booster. So there you go. That's the first DevBlog from September 7th. But there's one more. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see notifications of future videos, just ring the bell. Until next time, Tater Dawg says, woof.